Here we are back with a new episode. I have nothing to hold my thing. There we go. Used another book. You've been begging for me to read this because it got like 345 views. So I'm thinking you need another episode. So to get to where we are, read another 20 pages. Monday. You know how I said I play all sorts of pranks on Rowley? Well, I have a little brother named Manny, and I could never get away with pulling any of that stuff on him. Mum and Dad protect Manny like he's a prince or something, and he never gets in trouble even if he really deserves it. Yesterday, Manny drew a self-portrait on my bedroom door in permanent marker. I thought Mum and Dad were going to let him have it, but as usual, I was wrong. Oh. So we got a little, oh. Look, he's literally drawn that in permanent marker on Greg's door. And the Mum and Dad's like, oh, if Greg did that. Not fair, is it? Those two words in my life, not fair. Life is unfair. Okay. But the thing that bugs me the most about Manny is his nickname he has for me. When he was a baby, he couldn't pronounce brother, so he started to call me Bubby. Ooh. And he still calls me that now, even though I kept trying to get Mum and Dad to make him stop. Luckily, none of my friends have found out yet, but believe me, I have some really close calls. Happy birthday, Greg. Hey, this one says it's to Bubby. Must be a mistake. Mum makes me help Manny get ready for school in the morning. After I make Manny his breakfast, he carries his cereal bowl into the family room and sits on his plastic potty. C is for cookie and cookie is for me. Okay. And when it's time for him to go to daycare, he gets up and dumps whatever he didn't eat right in the toilet. Mum is always getting on me about not finishing my breakfast, but if she had to scrape corn flakes out of the bottom of the plastic potty every morning, she wouldn't have much of appetite either. Tuesday. I don't know if I mentioned this before, but I am super good at video games. I'll bet I could beat anyone in my grade head to head. Unfortunately, Dad does not exactly appreciate my skills. He's always getting on me about going out and doing something active. Gaming's active. So tonight after dinner, when Dad started hassling me about going outside, I tried to explain how video games, you can play sports like football and soccer and you don't even get all hot and sweaty. But as usual, Dad didn't see my logic. Dad is a pretty smart guy in general, but when it comes to common sense, sometimes I wonder about him. Slam. I'm sure Dad would dismantle my game system if I could figure out how to do it, but luckily the people who made these things make them parent-proof. Parent-proof. Every time Dad kicks me out of the house to do something sporty, I just go up to Rowley's to play with video games there. Unfortunately, the only games I can play at Rowley's are car racing games and stuff like that. Because whenever I bring a game up to Rowley's house, his dad looks in some parents' websites, and if my game has any kind of fighting or violence in it, he won't let us play. I'm getting a little sick of playing Formula 1 racing with Rowley because he's not a serious gamer like me. All that you have to do to beat Rowley is name your car something ridiculous at the beginning of the game. And when you pass Rowley's car, he just falls into pieces. Anyway, after I got done mopping the floor with Rowley today, I headed home. I ran through the neighbour's sprinkler a couple of times to make it look like I was all sweaty, and that seemed to do the trick for Dad. Idea! But my trick kind of backfired because as soon as Mum saw me, she made me go upstairs and take a shower. I like showers. Wednesday. I guess Dad must have been pretty happy with himself for making me go outside yesterday because he did it again today. It's getting really annoying to have to go up to rallies every time. I want to play a video game. There's a weird kid named Fregley. If your name's Fregley, you're not weird. Who lives halfway between my house and Rowley. And Fregley is always hanging out in the front yard, so it's pretty hard to avoid him. Fregley is in my phys ed class at school, and he has the whole made-up language like he needs to go to the bathroom and he says, juice, juice. Us kids have pretty much figured Fregley out by now, and I don't think teachers have really caught him yet. Today I probably would have gone up to Rowley on my own anyway, because my brother Roderick and his band name were practicing in the basement. That really bugged Roderick, so he drove off to the store and came back. I'm on the wrong page. Roderick's band is really awful, and I can't stand being home when they're having resales. And it's a band called Loaded Diaper, only it's spelled Loaded Diaper on Roderick's van. Look cooler, but even if Roderick told you how Loaded Diaper is really spelled, it would be news to him. I think Mum has the idea when it's going on to learn to play instruments and to become one of the family bands like you've seen on TV. Dad really hates heavy metal, and that's the kind of music Roderick and his band play. I don't think Mum really cares what Roderick plays or listens to, because to her all music is the same. In fact, earlier today, Roderick was listening to one of his CDs in the family room and Mom came and started dancing. That really bugged Roderick, so he drove off to the store and came back 15 minutes later with some headphones, and that pretty much took care of the problem. Thursday, yesterday, Roderick got a new heavy metal CD, and it was one of those parental warning stickers on it. I have never got to listen to one of the parental warning CDs because Mum and Dad never let me buy them at the mall, so I realised the only way I was going to get a chance to listen to Roderick's CD if I snuck it out of the house. This morning after Roderick left, I called up Rowley and told him to bring a CD player to school. Then I went down to Roderick's room and took his CD off his rack. You're not allowed to bring personal music players to school, so we had to wait to use it until after lunch. When the teachers let us outside, as soon as we got the chance, me and Rowley snuck around the back of the school and loaded up Roderick's CD. But Roderick forgot to put the batteries in his CD player, so it was pretty much worthless. Then I came up with the great idea for a game. The object was to put the headphones on your head and try to shake them off without using your hands. The winner was whoever could shake the headphones off in the shortest amount of time. I had the record with 7.5 seconds, but I think I might have shook some of my fillings loose with that one. Right in the middle of our game, Mrs. Craig came around the corner and caught us red-handed. She took the music player away from me and started chewing us out. But I think she had the wrong idea about what we were doing back there. she started telling us how rock and roll is evil and how it's going to ruin our brains. I was going to tell her that we weren't even any batteries in the CD player, but I could tell she didn't want to interrupt, so I just waited until she was done, and then I said, "Yes, ma'am." But right away, when Mrs. Craig was about to let us go, Rowley started blubbering about how he doesn't want rock and roll to ruin his brains. Honestly, sometimes I don't know about that boy. That's what it says here. And me. And me! Friday. Well, now I've gone and done it. Last night, after everyone was in bed, I snuck downstairs to listen Roderick's CD on the stereo in the family room. I put Roderick's new headphones on. I cranked up the volume really high. Then I hit play. First, let me just say, I can definitely understand why they put the parenting warning sticker on the CD. But I only got to hear about 30 seconds of the first song because I got interrupted. It turns out I didn't have the headphones plugged into the stereo, so the music was actually coming through the speakers, not the headphones. Dad marched me up to the room and shut the door behind him, and he said, "Let's you and me have a talk." And that's page 40. Just looking at the pictures. Forward on. And moose.